Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American LCS Spring Split. We want to welcome Team Curse's jungler, I Will Dominate, to the desk. So, first of all, congrats on the win. Did it go the way you thought it would?
It didn't exactly go the way that we thought it would. I actually came into the game planning to play Wukong, and I was surprised that they banned it out because I haven't been playing it. I actually haven't even won a game in LCS on Wukong yet, but I guess they were like scared of it, so they banned it out, so I ended up going with Vi again.
Okay. The commentators are actually talking about Jungle Olaf being a really prized first pick, kind of talking about jungle picks here, because that's like the big thing that Zuna's going to play. Were you concerned about that champion at all?
I wasn't really concerned for myself. I was concerned for the lanes because Olaf's allowed to output a lot more early pressure than Vi. So if he gets like a gank off like level 3 or something and then like a lane starts snowballing, I can't really like fix the lane right there. I have to wait till level 6, wait until I hit my power spike, and then fight.
So you ended up having to concentrate more on your own jungle because you got the early invade there.
Yep.
And you're no stranger to invades. You know, CLG got that blue buff steal randomly. So what really, as a jungler, do you want to do to come back from something like that if you do get early invaded?
Well, you want to just keep farming the jungle, especially now with the way that the jungle scales. If you're behind in levels, you gain more experience. So my mentality was like, all right, I'm going to get like as many camps as I can to get a Spirit Stone and a Pink Ward. That was like my main goal on my first clear. So once I had my Pink Ward, I was able to defensive pink my jungle, and then I also had my Spirit Stone, so I'm able to like clear just as effectively as him. And it's kind of like a small advantage you get. Like if they do counter jungle, you won't have that camp to go to, but you'll also have like the time. And that time I used to go back, buy a Spirit Stone, and then I have actually like jungle clearing power over him because he's only on a machete and I'm on a Spirit Stone. So I just wanted to like get back into the game, be able to farm up, hit my power spike, and then try to take over from there.
So it seems like you did actually a really good job. 3-0 and 11 on Vi that game. Ancient Golem pretty tanky. Trinity Force added. What made you decide to add some extra damage to the build? We've seen full tank before.
Just because I felt like we needed a little bit more damage at that point. I wanted to be like a threat in the game, and like full tank Vi is still a threat for a pickoff, but she's not like a threat damage-wise. But with the Triforce, Vi can actually like 1v1 and AD and AP easily. So I wanted to be able to just be a threat in the game.
Speaking of the AD, you guys played against Sivir. She's extremely popular now, and it kind of changes the whole dynamic of team fights. What do you guys do as a team to combat your opponents using Sivir?
Well, the easiest thing to do against Sivir is like when she ults and you have that like 15-second window where they're all moving fast, you just kind of want to disengage and play like within your own team and force them to like extend into you. And then from there, you can maybe turn it onto them, maybe get like a good Vlado, just set up some CC. But you kind of want them to just come in, maybe waste a Sivir ult, and force them to commit all the way.
And it seems like you guys did a really good job of playing around Sivir. We actually have a replay of a big team fight for you guys. If we can get that on your screen, we can talk about what exactly you guys did to win the game on this fight.
Okay.
So they're setting up for you guys.
So at this point, we know that Mundo's pushing bottom. So this is why they're forcing the fight. We know that Mundo's pushing bottom and that we have free pressure. So at first, we're like, can we kite it out? But then we realize that they're kind of overextending. So it's a game-winning fight here. Gragas Zanya's, he's far in the back. We're able to kill him. And then from here, we can just steamroll through the team. We can just, Zuna has his ult out. We can just look for targets. I flash in. We get 2 randoms procs on Sivir, and we just chase them all the way down to their base.
And you can just kind of just keep running at them forever.
Yeah, that's the goal.
It's a good way to play. So I want to divert then and talk about the newest addition to your guys' roster with St. Vicious, because we were talking to you off camera about his addition. Tell me your thoughts on him as a player, because his stats don't look great. He was half your team's deaths this game, but I know you don't care about that.
Yeah, I definitely don't care about my support dying at all. I'm just happy that that Saint's really proactive. Like, he's always looking for the play. Like, we make a joke in the house that he's always looking for the pick. Like, we'll all die. He'll be standing like alone, and he'll be like, "All right, let's get the pick on red." And it's like, all right, Saint, calm down. We don't need a pick right now. But yeah, that's just a great mentality to have. You just always look for the pick. You're always aggressive, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But it's definitely a much better way to go out than the way we would go out before, which is just kind of like slowly lose the game.
So are there other people making calls in the game too, or is it just dominated by Saint?
Well, like, I guess Saint makes most of, like, the team calls once we group up. But, like, early game, for example, like, I'll call, like, that first dragon. I'll call, like, the lanes I want to gank, like, where I think the jungler is going. So I pretty much call most of the early game, and then Saint will call, like, the 5v5 situations. Like, oh, we want to have Mundo top and, like, TP in. Or we want to, like, 5-man here in Siege. Like, those are Saint's calls.
So I actually want to track you down on something. You said, I'm going to call it where the enemy jungler is. How much of that is, like, ward coverage? How much of that is intuition? How do you find out when he's off the map, like, oh, he's actually doing wolves right here?
It's kind of just it's both. It's intuition, and then it's mainly just kind of like knowing like how the map's set up. So like in that situation, I knew he did my red, and then I saw him cross mid to their red. So then from there, I can kind of assume that he's going to go to his blue next because that's still up, and then like rotate, he'll be on the top side of the map. So you kind of just call generally where you think he'll be, and just go from there.
It seemed to work really well for you guys. You managed to pan out and win a whole bunch of your early fights, some of them from ganks, some of them just from lane kills. What do you do when you're like, okay, we have the early game lead? How do you sort of snowball from there?
Well, actually, I think that's something that we've been struggling with. Like, the mid-game team fight wasn't that good. Considering we're going into that team fight 4-0, there's no way we should be conceding the Dragon there. So I definitely think we need to work on it. But generally speaking, you just want to play to your team comp's advantages. Like, there we have a Mundo teleport, so that's really big. It's TP pressure, so we can either stay top and have him take down the turret, or he can come bot and just TP in and force a team fight. So you kind of just want to play to your comp's strengths, and it's different every game.
Are you guys working as a team on vision control at all? Because it does seem like sometimes when teams come back against you, it's people getting picked off. And that's really, everybody has to have input on that. And with Zeekend out, have the veteran support there is not available.
Yeah, I definitely think that vision control is something that we lack. Just normally the mentality that you have, especially when you play like support and solo queues, you kind of prioritize like items over wards. And in jungle, it's kind of the same, where you just want to have like that early Triforce, early Elder Lizard, and just run over the game. But that's something that definitely we're trying to work on. We definitely want to be able to control vision and force fights that are definitely on our terms. Because a lot of the fights that we force mid-game are still just like even fights. Like they see us, we see them, we just look at each other for a while, and then we just like fight randomly. There's not much to it.
Well, but at least it looks really flashy. You get a bunch of kills.
Yeah.
Why is it that the solo queue play style of buy a bunch of items, be a carry yourself, doesn't work in competitive? Why can't you just like buy 8 Trinity Forces to win the game?
I mean, you can do that. There's a time and place. It's just a lot of the time the game's more even, and in an even game, on junglers, for example, tank stats are normally more viable. So I'll only really build damage if I like know I'm gonna snowball, and that was like a rare exception where I kind of just like I was feeling it in like the early game. I just like had like good vibes going. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a Trinity Force and like
Kill people.
Yeah, kill
Channeling
people.
the freak.
Yes, I was a fan. I'm glad we got you on the desk for this
You
one.
can't actually hold 8 though.
You get them with the team.
You would have to sell 2.
That's worth it though.
You can swap out the trinket for one. And then,
Yeah,
go from there.
don't you know?
Yeah.
You get a boot enchantment. That's another one. It's extra slot.
Yeah.
So actually, I want to talk to you then more about your Trinity Force buy because it works so well. You talked about being able to 1v1 the backliners, 1v1 big carries. You got a whole bunch of picks on ManCloud, it seemed, running around. How do you find kills like that? They seemed really important this game.
Well, it was mainly just because that was what I was looking for. Like ManCloud was the big guy on their team. Like he was huge. He had like a bunch of CS. He had his Grail, his Void Staff, and his Death Cap pretty early into the game. And everyone else was generally weak. Like we got a bunch of kills top, a bunch of kills bot. Zuna was behind in the jungle. So we knew that like if we kill ManCloud, we'd probably win the fight. So a lot of the communication was like, all right, look for ManCloud. If you can get him, just kill him. And that's pretty much what I was looking for.
Were you ready to like set up on rotations? Were you able to get in his mind, know where he was going, or was it fortunate?
Not really. There was a couple times where I tried. Like I would try to like ward something. I knew he had a red sweeper. I'm like, oh, he's gonna clear the ward now. But he was actually pretty smart about it. He kind of sensed that I was gonna be doing that a couple times. So he didn't. So he actually used his red sweeper, but he didn't even clear the ward because he like had it in his mind.
Wow.
So yeah, I was pretty impressed by that. But yeah, I definitely think that it's mainly just go for him. It's mainly just like dive him and try to kill him.
So before this, you mentioned that you were planning on using Wukong coming into this. He has, sort of a similar ultimate where he could do the same thing if you're looking for ManCloud. But it's also AoE. Would you have done sort of the same strategy if you were on Wukong, or would that have changed? Would you try and peel more or something like that?
It depends on how the game was going. If I got like counter jungled really early on Wukong, it probably would have been a little bit more detrimental than it was. So in that situation, I might go tank. It would just really be how the game's going, if I can get off the successful ganks, and if I feel like I can build the item efficiently. Because I want to have it by a certain time frame. Like I don't want to be like finishing my Triforce at 30 minutes into the game and have no tank stats. So just kind of feel it out.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and congratulations on your win. You guys
Thanks.
moved to 5th place up that one. We'll see you next week. Guys, we got more games going on. Now let's send across the studio to Riven Chat.
Thank you very much, Freak. And if you want to figure out more about I Will Dominate, there's a pretty sweet feature on lolesports.com, so you can go check that out and figure out more about the man in the jungle for Curse. In our next match, however, we have Cloud9 versus Team Dignitas. Chat, you have to imagine Dignitas' mental state is, we did it once, we can do it again.
Yeah, and, it could be right. When you look at Cloud9's loss to COG yesterday, you kind of have to ask how much of that game was COG playing amazingly or Cloud9 being off of their game. Meteos usually really helps balls and doubles up then they take over the game. He was paranoid with bottom lane last game.
Yeah.
Could not get himself involved or transition his team. There was a lot of strange plays by Cloud9 that we need to see if they can make up for or if it was just CLG being amazing.
And while Meteos got tripped up at bot lane, but Dignitas has been having trouble with another B word.
Yeah, well, it's possible that the word Baron is a little bit banned around the Dignitas house
Yeah.
after their last 2 games. Last week when they were taking Baron against XTG, that was the turning point where it was completely over. And then yesterday against TSM, even though it wasn't Dignitas trying for the Baron, they got picked off one after another and lost control of the game. They need to just work on control of that area and find a better way of playing the game because the up until that point for Dig is good.
Right. Well, it was a huge upset in Week 1 when Dignitas took Cloud9 down. But the boys in blue and white think they've learned from their first defeat and are ready for the rematch.
Last time we lost against Dig because we fell really behind mid. Hai had a few solo deaths to Scar, and then he got snowballed on with Viganks after that.
Well, we had an oversight in the ban pick phase. We gave a player his favorite champion by far, and that's not something you should do. Gragas is Scar's favorite champion, and he's really good at that.
They'll probably be a little bit more cautious playing us this time, and they've definitely fixed some of the flaws in their gameplay that we exploited. So this would be a much closer matchup, I would think.
We need to make sure we don't lose pressure early game because they're really good at like just taking a little bit of pressure and turning it into objectives.
I'm pretty sure we'll be okay this time around. I don't know if we'll win, but the game should go much better as long as I'm not sitting mid dying every 30 seconds.
Well, we saw Scar and Hai chatting earlier. We'll see if we can get the Riven Gragas matchup they were talking about.
Most games go better if you're not sitting in mid dying every 30 seconds.
This is true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sound advice.
I learn something new every day. All right, let's check out the starting lineups. On the blue side, it's Cloud9. Balls in the top lane, Meteos in the jungle. Mid is Hai, AD carry is Sneaky, and Lemonation at support.
On the red side, it is Dignitas. Cruising the top lane, Crumbs in the jungle, Scar in mid, I'm a Cutie Pie on AD carry, and Kiwi Kid on support.
And this should be an interesting champion select, but every champion select is interesting. Crumbs and Meteos share quite a few of the same junglers, have both been the ones to try Fiddlesticks coming in the NA LCS.
So a few
Crumbs
things,
having a bit better of the win there.
Absolutely. I think Gragas ban was
Gragas ban,
pointed
Lee
out
Sin
right off the bat.
possibly.
Meteos and Crumbs sharing the champion pool is definitely very interesting. Vi will be highly contested, I think, amongst these two guys. I wonder with Meteos whether he's going to try and go back to the Lee Sin. He has had such an amazing week last week when he was playing.
Yeah.
Really synergized with their early game jungle control where Meteos would, with the rest of the team, push up really hard and just take over the game. They never found that opportunity against COG yesterday. That COG Cloud9 game was a bunch of fights where Cloud9 didn't have more people than COG.
Right.
That's not like them when they play League of Legends. They are almost always the ones that force and have more people in a situation.
Coming into that game, kind of ate my own words saying it was CLG's lanes to win because you see Balls in the lane. How often does he lose that? Not often, even if the team loses.
Almost
Balls
never.
is on top. And with the loss of that game, he was still up in CS.
Everyone talks about how dominant he is on Renekton as well. And he was dominant in that game as well.
Yeah.
He just wasn't able to make anyone else farmed.
Yeah.
And
Can't give your farm away.
there was a really, really fast Shyvana on the other side, thanks to Sivir and Lulu, that shut them down. I wonder if they're going to do something crazy like that.
And we see the Kassadin ban out already. Like we said, we'll probably see the Lee Sin, the Gragas. Hai mentioned just in the video that we gave it to him the first time they beat us. So it would probably be in their best interest to get it out of there.
Yeah, we're going to see the ban restart in that last game. There was a weird little thing. Someone couldn't ban a champion. So the first ban should still, I think the first ban will still stick in. They're talking about it.
Kassadin's going to be banned anyway.
Too much. Kassadin is going to be banned from the red side team, pretty much 100%. Gragas has to be banned as well.
Yeah. It's just a little too crazy to leave that up for Skara. We see that wheelhouse champions are something that players can get back on. Look at Zuna when he gets his Olaf. Last game isn't the best example,
Yeah,
but
well, he had been dominant
those
on
are
it
crazy games.
up until then.
Way better than most of them.
Scar's champions that he generally falls back on are generally Gragas and Karthus. He has a little bit of Katarina from way back in the day. Most likely not seeing that here.
Right. So back to picks and bans. Kale is going to be the first one out they do not want Scar to have. And this allows Hai to be a bit more of an assassin, possibly. We'll see what they decide to go in the end.
Yeah, it makes the most sense that Cloud9 would target Skara.
Yeah.
It's a tried and true strategy against teams when
You
they
don't
play
say.
against Dignitas. Skara's criticized fairly heavily, much like High used to be, about a diminishing champion pool, which is a self-perpetuating problem when they play each other, because there's a chance we're going to see all of their 6 mid lane bans if they decide to leave Elise on the board.
We can technically say that's a mid lane ban, we'll call it.
She used to be a mid lane. Yeah, not quite. Elise banned as well. That makes sense.
And then 2 supports. No, I'm just kidding. So Elise does go out. Meteos will not find that. Cloud9 did have a loss when Meteos had that Elise. And Elise in. Gets through, but they take it.
Exactly.
Possibly.
I think they're going to do that because they want to deny it from Meteos. Also, Crumbs has a hankering for playing Lee Sin this weekend. It was banned against him when they played TSM because he is very, very good at Lee Sin. He's going to try and show Meteos how it's done, I believe. But the fact that they're sitting on it and not locking in makes me think someone's still making his decision.
They're looking down the line.
We're all looking at Cutie Pie. Cutie Pie's the one talking right now. I like how Scar and Cutie Pie are talking to each other, and Cruiser and Connor's just like, what do we do? Just tell us already.
This is an in-depth conversation here. You see they're sitting back. They'll break out the coffee in a second. Skara's going to have the last word. Dignitas loves to run something that can be a factor when your team's off split pushing. And we'll see the Sivir pickup. Doesn't really lead to all that, but it could. We'll see what the composition comes in. The Stampede, a likely thing.
Well, Cloud9 had a lot of trouble against Sivir yesterday, and for a team that is so invested in finding fights, running people down, turret diving, it's harder to do those things against a Sivir. I think Sivir is going to be an ever popular pick against Cloud9 because it is very good against the Cloud9 playstyle.
As soon as Jinx kind of fell off, people stopped playing her. They were like, Sivir, yes. Let's build compositions around that and run people down so they can't get away. Waiting on Cloud9 to pick it out here. It's going to be High and Meteos on your screen. From left to right, that's Meteos. I'm seeing him right now. We'll see if he picks for himself. Usually they will. And whoa, the Pantheon coming in the first time for Meteos. He will go for that.
That's exciting. He's trying to match the early game power that Lee Sin is going to bring. And they also pick Caitlyn, who is probably the best AD carry you can pick against Sivir. Such an immense range advantage and can also shove back at Sivir. 2 very, very important things. We'll get to see if Sneaky and Cutie Pie match up or if Dignitas is going to try one of their lane swaps. Dignitas has been the team that does lane swaps with Jinx, and they've been going up into the top lane, blowing through the extra
Fast tower pushing,
extra turret damage reduction. But I don't know how well that will work without the Jinx. We might see it this game, just because that's a bad lane matchup.
Cruiser getting his Mundo. We've been seeing Cruiser focus quite a bit when he comes up with that pick. Dignitas playing to the crowd for a little bit, but they're going to go with Leon.
Big grin on his face. Leon is the logical pick here. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see the Renekton coming out of balls. He's picked it so many times, and he can get so aggressive against a Mundo that it would just synergize with the type of map control Cloud9 is going to want to take early. If he doesn't do that, it will be a throwback onto something like Rumble to synergize with High's mid pick.
Skara leaving himself up for a mid pick here, so whatever High shows, he's going to have to allow Skara to counter that. Sneaky elimination for the last 2 picks here. Looking for that mid in that top lane.
Yeah, I think I saw Kobe talking about it yesterday, but Lemon's beard's really coming in strong.
It is.
Yeah.
It's great. Got to give him credit as a beard guy. Ooh, the Kazakhs coming in.
Ooh.
Already a win there for High on Kazakhs, and Sneaky is going to pick out Shyvana for balls.
So while these are both very strong picks in lane, and High and Kazakhs makes a lot of sense for High, it's actually been banned against him when they played TSM. Very, very good at that champion. They're really low on crowd control. As far as initiating fights, sure, everyone can jump in, but how well are they going to keep people there, especially against a team like Dignitas who moves so fast? I do worry for Cloud9 whether they're going to have to get really far ahead. Otherwise, I think Dignitas is going to cut him around the map.
Hopefully Cloud9 can jump in and kill him faster than they move and quickly zero him off the map. We did see, oh man, I want to say it was Curse. Cop running the Caitlyn, and then Dominate was running the Pantheon, and they were doing the man drop ace in the holes from wherever. It's just such a big burst of damage to initiate. So
100-0, someone squishy.
You could see that. The pick coming in. What? Oh.
All right, that is real, actually. That is a real Vygar pick. So,
damn.
Couple
That's
things.
awesome.
Couple things. As far as disengaging, Vigar has the longest, I believe, stun left in the game. When he maxes his event horizon, which is his stun, I believe it's 2.5 seconds of circular stun, which since Cloud9 doesn't have much crowd control and everyone's going to be jumping in, when you jump through the event horizon, you'll go through it, but you'll be stunned afterwards. The crowd control will stick with you.
Right.
So that's actually a tremendous disengage if Dignitas wants to try and get that. Since he'll be moving quick enough because of the Sivir, he can do that. Also, he could theoretically burst down Kha'Zix right as he comes in because Kha'Zix is so quick in and out, but Vigar can lock him down with the stun so he can't jump out afterwards, then just blow him up.
Primordial burst right in the face. As the teams load onto the Rift, let's crunch the numbers to see who you think is going to take this next match. I know everybody's clicking after seeing that Vagar pick.
What does
it's
Vagar
67%. I think Cloud9 is going to take this.
Yeah, that's not as high as a percentage as we're used to seeing from Cloud9 fans.
They usually get a little more love, but Dig they've been showing that they can step up.
Kind of want to pick up Vagar's character sheet and just try to so I could get all the knowledge. I was not expecting this. Obviously, his ultimate is one of just the biggest nukes in the game. It's very much like a Syndra ultimate, except it's just one burst instead of a whole bunch of them.
Right.
Damage-wise, it's very comparable as far as single-target ultimates. Can pretty much blow anyone up if he catches them properly. But
I'm interested to see.
It's such a dangerous pick against Kha'Zix, Rib.
I love seeing a Vagar that can hit a nice stun with the Event Horizon, the Dark Matter combo, if they can time the W right, because it's quite a long time charge for that spell to fall. But we got all the time in the world to see it here as we get into Cloud9 versus Dignitas, our second game of the day here, Week 5, Day 2. We are on to the Rift.
And we've also seen a lot of success from teams who pick first-time champions. Yeah.
It's a weird stat, but it is completely true.
It seems to, we saw the Volibear, the first time Urgot Soraka got broken out. It was incredibly potent. This is going to be fantastic.
So squishy. Skara. Hardly any health. 437 HP, and he goes with the consumables, as did High.
Yeah, very squishy. If a Pantheon looks at him funny, he's probably going to die early on in the game. But the burst damage is absurd. His ultimate has a 1.2 AP ratio. Vigar's one of these older champions that just people haven't touched on in a while, so there's a few ridiculous things left on his kit that he has access to. He has so much weakness inherently with this, and there's so many things teams can do against him to punish him, that he's allowed to have those 2.5 second stuns when he maxes his event horizon, or his 1.2 AP ratio on his ultimate.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him. He's trying to make a mark. This is the second Vagar we've ever seen in the North American LCS. So Skara.
Yeah, it was Nijak who played it before, I believe. Way back.
Would be the Jackie.
Minions have spawned.
He loves his Vagar. Again, the back and forth. We get a glitch in the system and we see the same thing up top every time.
Another Mundo version on a matchup, but really this invade. This time you could see Scar moved over to give him a bit of assistance. Said, get out of there, guys. I don't care if you have a ward. This is going to let him know the Crumb starts at the red buff, though. Just scouting knowledge for two very good junglers.
Very interesting. This Vagar pick, we'll keep an eye on it as we make our way through the game. Like we said, Crumbs gets Lee Sin away from Meteos to start this. And Meteos is going to be on Pantheon for the first time here. So a lot of early things to keep our eyes on as this game gets underway.
No. There's going to be a lot of focus on Vigar this game.
Yeah.
Have to see if he can farm up. Much like Nasus, he has a stacking mechanism.
That's
Every
true.
time he last hits with his Q,
keep control
get extra AP, and that's a lot of damage for Cutie Pie to take. Oh dear.
The exhaust is on, the Peacemaker to come out. It's on cooldown, but the flash, very nice for them.
Yeah, opts to flash instead of barrier, because if he would have barriered, there's a chance that they just would have waited until afterwards and then flashed and killed him anyway, so he burns the flash right away. I made a mistake last night where I did the barrier first, and it cost.
Ooh.
It was death.
Yep.
Smart move to flash away at that point.
Lemon Nation really getting the upper hand, leveling that E, getting the extra flay damage in, and there's not much Kiwi Kid can do to auto-attack back, and they quickly take aggression in the bottom lane. Meteos and everybody is going to start using this to their advantage, and they start going for the blue buff.
Yeah, smart move there, and it's only worked because Sneaky and Lemon Nation had done so much damage to Cutie Pie that he couldn't make it over. Sneaky no flash, though.
Oh, just in time! Oh my god, they turned it around on Cutie Pie's head!
2v2 right there, Sneaky and Lemon Nation. The Caitlyn pick to try and counter, and Meteos waiting in the wings.
Kiwi Kid, he's running. He has that ward, so he's safe. But wow, very early aggression. The level 3 quickly coming in for Meteos because of the blue buff on Dignitas' side.
Crumbs also gets spotted by the ward in the top lane.
Ooh.
It's going to be a bit of action.
He knows how to play it, though. He didn't freak out and try to run out of the event. He knows to stay in it,
stay within the horizon,
not get stunned. Like you said, that mechanism, if you try to jump out of it, it kind of triggers.
You can
if
jump
you're
out
in and you get out,
but you get stunned afterwards.
But you still get stunned.
Uh-huh.
If you pass through the wall anyway, it's going to get you.
Scar has 4 ability power, extra from his Q right now.
Oh, man.
Keeping track of that one. It's only 1 AP. 5 AP if he kills a champion with it.
Maybe your staff shouldn't get bigger as it builds an AP. A little bit of a walk-in here. They're doing it very slowly. Dignitas has to just kind of take this. The flashes are down. The damage is coming in slowly, and they walk in another kill for themselves. The lockup onto Kiwi Kid. He's only got so far to go, and not another death sentence to be written for him.
Oh, no. That lane for Dignitas is starting really badly. They had no summoners, and AmaCutiePie was way too far from home. It was a smart return gank from Meteos. He just pretty much stayed there, which caught Dignitas off guard. But he still shouldn't have been there. Sloppy death by CutiePie.
Super early aggression coming in here from Sneaky and Lemonation in the bottom lane. For CutiePie's first Sivir game, he is not having a fun time.
Yeah, and you can also see the Relic Shield got picked up after the Doran Shield by Kiwi Kid.
Right.
Oftentimes you'd see them start with a Relic Shield instead of a Doran's. This time he gets it after because he still wants the gold generation. But if they're losing the lane that badly, it's going to be hard for him to actually get the gold shares out.
Scar getting a little help from Crumbs in the mid lane so they can push back high. He's also a factor they need to shut down in this game. So far, he's not going too crazy on CS. They're both pretty even. Cruiser balls in the top lane, still level 5s. Looking at their experience bars, they're not looking like they'll hit 6 anytime soon. But we'll see if Meteos comes up here, as most teams do, and try to get the early aggression onto Mundo.
Well, that'll be the story here, because that's usually what Cloud9 has been doing so far in this 2014 season. And Balls has gotten a lot of harass down on a Cruiser. He generally keeps his lane opponent quite low, and it's how he's been so dominant in the top lane so far this split. But early on, no real action up top, because Siobhan and Mundo don't generally kill each other. They need jump out. Again in the bottom.
A lot of action go down here. Crumbs finally has something to say about it. He's going for Lemonation on the backside, goes for the flash.
Oh,
Sneaky was the bodyguard in between. Do they have it enough to get it down the boomerang? On the way back, CutiePie gets himself a kill.
A incredibly needed return kill right there, even though Crumbs missed his Sonic Wave at that point. They knew Lemons was a bit overextended, and they ended up catching Meteos unawares for the gank.
Skara goes back his first buy. 2 Doran's rings. He needs to stay a little bit healthier. He was pretty squishy.
Oh, another early dragon by Dignitas. This is one of their trademarks. It's really funny how Dignitas has such great dragon control, but such terrible Baron control in their games, because they almost always get that early dragon. They're very good at it. Always knowing the right moment to peel off. Crumbs has a great eye for it.
Very much so. The sub 7-minute dragon into the sub 7-minute gank coming in for Cloud9. And they do go top. They do go for Cruiser.
That's what happens. Balls kept him low, even though he had hit level 6. He hadn't popped his ultimate yet to heal up. They got the Ignite down to diminish the effectiveness of the Mundo ultimate, and they secure a very, almost trademark Cloud9 top lane dive.
We'll see how this works. They'll see Balls and Meteos in the top lane for quite a while. No, they're actually not going to pressure that turret too hard. So Dragon goes down, and they don't try to rebuttal with the turret.
Not really a possibility to, because they'd gotten that gank top lane. So not extra stuff to push bottom. CutiePie really going all out to try and have enough trading damage, because he's getting slaughtered in CS in that lane right now. About 25 to 49, because Kiwi Kid shared a few, but he picked up that Relic Shield late.
They're playing that so far back. They're even almost behind Dig's minion wave coming in here, trying to get the zone defense going on, and they're doing a great job. Lemonation's pressure of that early flay damage from his auto attacks has really set up this lane nicely. Along with Meteos, he made an early presence bot lane, and we were saying he kind of left it alone last game.
Yeah, well, he tried to get it going last game.
Right.
Against COG, he was just so ineffective with it. This time, though, Pantheon, much more straightforward ganks. Don't have to worry about any of those pesky skill shots. Just jump on the guy and finish him off. Now he's level 6, too.
Yeah, he's going for the Lizard. He's going to be able to build that up. He has the 2 long swords waiting for him. He's finishing Wraiths right now. As we see High jumping in onto Skara, but he finds himself some crumbs here, and he goes in for the Sonic! And the resonating strike as well, the kill.
Then getting out of there with the kick. That was the Event Horizon stun full burst by Dignitas, and they get the execute from Crumbs when he flies in. Nicely done. Veigar keeping Kha'Zix under wraps as of now, out-farming him, and the jungler gank helps him get a kill.
I like the Lee Sin pick coming in here now. You see how it kind of synergizes with that long stun of Veigar. Skara can get a really far out stun. You get a safeguard in, you got 2 people on the fight immediately. We'll see if that comes back again. The Fiendish Codex being picked up by Skara. Looks like he's not going up against too much. High has been having a bit of trouble in that lane.
You could actually kick someone into the Event Horizon just to stun them.
That's true.
Kick them into the stun.
I like it.
They'd be very confused on what happens.
We'll see if Crumbs can get it to happen this game. He does have quite the fantastic Lee Sin mechanics. He himself is going to be going for the golem for himself this
Tank
game.
Lee Sin,
Yeah.
makes sense. They need much protection for Skara.
Yeah.
Still not much ability power stacking up. Oh.
He's
Gonna
trying.
happen here.
Can't get it for everyone all the time. Cutie Pie, his flash and barrier are up, and there is one of the 2. The flash is down.
Yeah, and he had to burn his ultimate. Surprising, you know, his support was far, far away trying to make a play in the mid lane. So he had to back off himself. And now Kiwi Kid, yeah, they really want to shut down High here. Wonder if they're going to go. I'm surprised they haven't just went or backed off. There's
Yeah.
a lot of happy feet.
Crumbs is hovering, but High has that ward just above his shoulder on the left side. He will be able to stay safe and maybe even have some time to bait out Crumbs, but he's already back for the time being. Still only down a little bit in CS. I'm waiting for this Skara pick to really have a factor in the game. I think it's slowing things down that Veigar's here. Nobody's roaming or not wanting Skara to get too big.
Oh, there's that gank top lane.
Here it is, jump to the top. Cruiser says, all right, I'll go the other way. Dragon's Descent is going to give him a little bit of a boost, and he is going to keep on the sadism with that speed. He'll be alive for a little bit.
Got to keep Meteos away. Nice shot.
Well, at least he saves the assist from coming in.
How much more can he run? Seriously, a couple more cleavers.
Wait a minute. He got the flame breath on, so it's still ticking. The minions are kind of going to equal that as well. I don't think this is going to be an execute.
No.
Balls takes him down.
A very noble effort, though, by Cruiser.
Wasting good time.
Keeping the assist gold away from Meteos. If you get a kill without an assist, that entire assist pool, which is 50% of the kill gold, doesn't get given to the other team.
Oh, the flash into the stun, but Skara throws down the Event Horizon. There could be enough damage here, and there is, coming from High.
Ooh, just a lethal gank right there. Flash stun by Meteos. Almost no escape if Scar is going to be pushed up in the lane at that point.
You see Crumbs throwing out some spells to get that passive attack speed in. Take out the pink ward a little faster, get himself to safety. But right now, he's playing in the danger zone. He is in C9's jungle, which they've done quite a bit of warding in.
Yeah, Cloud9 definitely pulling ahead here across the board. Top lane, bottom lane, both doing well. And mid lane by Scar just got ganked, so it's a little bit of trouble across the board. The early pressure is back for Cloud9.
And a big help from Meteos as well. Seeing those kills in his column is going to mean that the team is on the up and up, and they're definitely thinking they have the advantage here. Turret going down in the top lane. This Cruiser kind of has to let that one happen. Balls is doing what he can to keep that strengthened. 104 to 82 in that lane. It's going to be a cutlass to that tank of Mundo.
Yeah, you can see Cruiser has to now just take double golems because he is too scared of what's happening up in that lane. Getting completely bullied now by Balls thanks to the help of Meteos. And also, the strength of Meteos right now is really scary. If he can get onto Skara and not get stunned by the Event Horizon, pretty much just 1v1 him. With the Lizard Elder and 2 longswords, he is basically an assassin with a half map wide jump.
And this is what Dominate was talking about last game. You keep even with the other jungler and most of the team, you can easily build that damage without being too afraid of getting blown apart right away. 5-2, 13 minutes on the clock, and looks like we're going to see Dragon alive once again. Unfortunate for C9 that the blue was picked up just recently by Skara, so they won't be able to pressure that as well.
And with the blue buff, Skara can try and get a little bit more ability power. For anyone curious, 31 AP, but he's in trouble right now.
Oh, the flash! Gonna go in, he still has his flash up. Can he get outside the Event Horizon? He is so low right now, but so is High. They go back and forth. Retribution kill on the mids, and it looks like Meteos comes up with another one. Crumbs goes down. They're right back onto Cruiser. They did not expect Balls to be here. Lemon tries for the last play, but sadism keeps him alive.
Hey, considering they dumped so much into that, a 2-for-1 isn't a total disaster. Now, Dignitas on the counter.
Double solar player is so nice coming in from Kiwi Kid. The reinitiation is huge. Balls is trying to get himself out with Burnout. Meteos is doing what he can, and Sneaky. Sneaky's getting quite close right now to the fight, and he is not stopping.
Yeah, but Sneaky is really strong. Bloodthirsted to just a bunch of item pieces for Dignitas. All told, though, that is a 2 for 2. And we can really actually see the theory behind the Event Horizon working, because Scar's getting jumped on, and then everyone just kind of waits for a second and a half, and then it kills him. So that part's not working. But the rest of it means in a team fight, they would have a lot of time to get other stuff out. I'm a Cutie Pie could theoretically get a lot of damage out in those quick windows of stun. This could work for Dignitas.
Cruiser just used that ulti. Burnout going out. Balls didn't even back from that engagement. Dragons going down right now. They did effectively get the blue off of Scar, though.
Yeah, that was Cruiser's bad, though. He got caught off guard by the Blade of the Ruined King from Balls and just got ran down without his ultimate on. Dignitas' Dragon Control again, keeping them in this game a bit with gold. Dignitas really sticking around with low health and mana. It's because Cloud9 has so much persistent pressure on the map that they're just not getting good windows to go back and buy. Every buy is costing them something. You know, Cruiser should have bought, but because he didn't, he died. If he would have bought right away, he might have lost turret damage or get a counter juggle like he is now. Here in the bottom lane, because they had to shop after the dragon, they lose a turret.
Cloud9 always working one thing after the other. Get some kills, get a turret. Don't stop there. 15 minutes into the game, they've got about a 2,000 gold lead, 4 kills in their favor, and those, again, a lot are on Meteos. He's had 5 out of those 8 in kill participation, so he's been all around the map, really helping every lane. You saw him helping Balls against Cruiser, and he's been jumping on Scar in the mid lane most recently.
Yeah, I think it's been quite a recovery in the bottom lane of Dignitas as well. Crumbs finding a hook. That was actually a pretty key ward kill. The fact that High and Lemon peeled off for it and Dignitas took almost no damage is a big reward. 100 gold invested, and that pink ward is now gone. But the bottom lane for Dignitas, Cutie Pie being at 90 CS and there being 20 on Kiwi Kid, most of that being share gold, means gold-wise, they are incredibly close to the bottom lane that they died to at level 1. I'm a Cutie Pie actually has 100 more gold than Sneaky at this point.
All the hooks.
There's a turn, baby.
Lemon Nation still hitting the hooks, as usual. His Thresh play is 5-1 with 6 plays, so he's making this 7 right now. It can be another victory. Looks like him and Sneaky are still just controlling that lane completely.
They put a lot of damage down onto him.
Well, at least they have eyes on Crumbs now. You see that Meteos is in the bot lane. He may hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, Scar's got to watch out here because Dignitas has lost complete control of that top lane. Balls is now beating up so many people on Dignitas. It's not just Cruiser that is harmed. Because he's pressuring Scar, because he's gone, he's hurting mid, and because he's taking rates, he's hurting Crumbs in the jungle. Ball's doing a great job. It's kind of a lesson on how to carry from top lane.
It just shows you he can do it on any champion. Cruiser's on his main champion right now in the season with 6 plays onto that Mundo. This is only Balls' fourth play on Shyvana, so we'll have to see if he can keep this up.
Yep, taking the turret in the mid lane as well, just because he is there. Scar cannot push that back. There's a hook.
Going in on a Cutie Pie. He is the main focus. He flashes out on the hunt. Is there? Oh, but he goes down in the end. Good kill coming from a burn.
The damage ticks from the Lizard Elder finished him off in the end there. Very close kill, and somebody's got to stop this mid lane push.
I don't think anybody's going to be able to. Burnout's going to hinder that a little bit, activating the damage coming in, but they get off. Scar's not able to throw down the Event Horizon, and they live to fight another day.
Yeah, these relentless pushes by Cloud9. As soon as they get some harass or get someone low, they can just keep on coming. Sneaky with his huge range as well, just trying to get these turrets down. The fact that it's 3 turrets to 0 means Dignitas needs to start winning a couple fights, otherwise the gold lead will continue to accumulate. They've lost their other turrets, their jungle is vulnerable, and the more Cloud9 is farming the lanes and both jungles, the more they're going to pull ahead.
Their jungle's vulnerable, and it's also being shared quite a bit here. Cruiser has nothing to farm as his lane's fully pushed. We just saw Crumbs, or rather Scara, leaving the top side and coming down to get this blue. So everybody's trying to soak up what they can. They'll have a few minion waves coming in here as Cloud9 isn't going to be able to push too much more. But with dragons in their favor, 3 turrets, they're only waiting to get the next kills.
Yeah, Scar just picked up his DFG as well. Because he's gained an extra 56 ability power from his Q stacking, he's sitting at 260 ability power already. in that game. Scar will hurt if he can get his combos off in this game, and Dignitas is hanging on by a thread right now. There could be one more fight for Cloud9. If they win it, they have the map control that they could take Baron, and that would just turn the game on its head.
Still going to have to get himself in there. Very scary situation for a tiny little Veigar. We'll see if they try to blow him up immediately. They have the team for it. That is on the side of Cloud9. Looks like Meteos and Lemonation using that pink ward to their advantage, trying to get a quick pick on somebody.
But they're not quite finding it at this point.
Dignitas isn't really in the we're going to make the moves mode right now. They're in the let's figure out what's happening. Maybe some moves in mid. Kiwi Kid trying to come in, and we see that the Pantheon ult was immediately stopped there.
This is bad.
There's the jump. The flash goes out. Kiwi Kid, Peacemaker from the backside. The ace in the hole. Going to be taken down high. Good damage there. Could they keep going into this fight? Oh, getting exploded by Skara.
Whoa.
Great damage there. Skara's still on the backside. Lemon Nation goes down now, and it's going to be Sneaky trying to come up with a kill. Still going into the fight. Dragon's Descent's going to be enough to take down Cutie Pie. Thought he was actually going to be able to put on another shield and stop that Dragon Bite from coming down. Everybody is going down except for Skara, only because he's got the range to stay out of the fight.
Really, really strange fight right there, Riv. It ends up being 4 for 2 when all is said is done, but it was so close to turning around for Dignitas. If Cruiser was a hair tankier, he would have finished off both Meteos and Sneaky. Scar was pushed back, and you actually got to see how quickly he blew up High. I actually thought High was jumping in to kill Skara, and one of them disappeared. I thought it was the other way around. But Scar came out on top in that one.
Glad that wasn't the only one.
Yeah, check out the shock on this one. So Kiwi Kid goes down, but watch the burst on High as he jumps in for this next kill, because Scar DFG combos him off this stun. He's gone before he lands.
I thought that was Skara dying.
Yeah, and then he flashed away, which made it seem like he disappeared. That almost turned it, because behind them, Cruiser came in, and it was just so incredibly close between these guys. Obviously, Meteos with the last bit of mana. It was actually Balls that finished off on the Cutie Pie. So close. So Scar could have gotten a little bit past Balls. It was just Balls being the middle of that fight. Completely stopping Scar from getting to the backline was very important.
And the unkillable gets out unkilled again. 4-0-6 for Meteos now in this game, and he is everywhere he needs to be. Actually stopped the ultimate coming into that fight quite quickly as it was initiated. Making the right calls.
And during that replay also, Cloud9 took the Dragon. Yes. Which is the most valuable dragon of the game thus far. It scales with gold as the game continues, meaning that that lead that we were thinking was going to balloon is starting to. 5,000 gold this early in the game is very dangerous for Dig. They have to really find picks. I think the straight-up team fights are a bad idea for them.
And we see High, I believe, going for the Hydra build again, along with that Hex Drinker to keep himself safe. He's the one that favors the Hydra over that Bloodthirster, kind of single-target killer. See what they have in mid and see if he can get kills still. We'll see it coming in. He's already got 3 for himself. Between this game and last game, Jungler and 80 carry, doing good things for themselves. 4-0-6 for Meteos. Sneaky, 3-0-3. It's really for Dignitas to answer now. A little bit on the back foot.
Yeah, Sneaky trying to make up for his poor lane against Sivir yesterday.
All right.
Just harassing down Scar. Headshot. Not quite. Stays in the hole. Oh, here comes Pantheon, though.
Great jump, great Event Horizon. I think there was a bit of miscommunication there for a second. Kiwi Kid's going to be going down in this. Crumbs is on the side to do what he can, but it's only for moral support.
You could tell Kiwi Kid tried to protect Scar there, but he didn't need protecting, and it just cost him his life.
That's what you get, right? You haven't played with Veigar in a while. No, everything's fine. I can stun their entire team, and it's not my ultimate. We're okay, but not everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, this could be a very, very key moment here. Cloud9 clearing out pink wards, going for Baron because Cutie Pie is gone and Kiwi Kid is farming. This is a nearly impossible Baron hold by Dig. They might just have to completely give this up. Look out.
That just missed. Good ward coming in, though. Cutie Pie is going to get this bottom turret. They go over onto Crumbs. Deja Vu, and the Baron engagement's over the wall.
How does this keep happening?
On to Skara. High goes back into the pit. Very low. He was actually the one tanking. Cruiser wants a piece of this. It looks like Crumbs is on the outside. He's very low, but could go for an attempt.
Yeah. It could just be another jump over the wall.
Yeah, it's going to be a jump over the wall, and a Dragon that's very hungry. Ball's going for another kill. Gets it in a 2v1 situation, pushes it out into another 2v1, and they don't even want to fight. An inhibitor turret is going down, but will Dig be able to even pressure this later?
All right, so it seems like that, it looked like it was exactly what happened yesterday. The same brush, Just Stochastic's jumping over the wall to kill him again. But if we look at the overall gold, it is still fairly close. Let's see if I can chase down Cutie.
He doesn't have enough mana. Maybe one spell shield for the spikes to slow it. There's one. Oh, he turned on the click, though. It wears off. There's the hit.
Goodbye.
There's no red buff, but it's going to be the slow that's enough to get the kill. Cutie Pie will go down here. A little bit of extra gold, 4 high. It's going to happen eventually. Just takes a little bit longer. Fancy feet and the brushwork by Cutie Pie. And we see Cloud9 trying to take advantage of everything here, and they missed that one. Sneaky just trying to be a pest.
Yeah, Scar is able to secure his blue buff, but
He didn't clear it.
That was another tactical misplay by Dignitas right there. Even though Kiwi Kid was caught, I think the Baron could have been defensible if Cutie Pie went bat straight away. He got 2 turrets out of it, you know? Traded for the Baron in a few deaths. But now the question becomes, can they hold off their inhibitors? If they cannot, the move was definitely not worth it.
They're scared
because they're
right
down
now.
in gold for it.
They are not happy with what's going on outside the base. Skara leaving up that minion, actually, so the blue buff won't respawn if they can get back out and get it. Cruiser taking big damage before the fight even starts, and that's their main tank coming in. Yeah, Crumb's built a little tanky, but he's still going down pretty quick in these fights.
Actually an Aegis for Crumbs as well. So trying to get a bit of team utility. The dive comes in right now.
Wow, Balls is the first one in, and they make Balls be the focus, so Meteos can get a good hit on the man drop. The teleport is in from the base. Here comes Cruiser. They're also status. He misses the cleaver, though. Back in the fight in between 4 people. Looks like Dig has a good grab. What a hook coming in from Lemon Nation. High takes full advantage and comes in with a quick kill. Zeroing out that, and it looks like it's going to be Crumbs going down as well. A double kill coming in for Sneaky, and Cloud9 turns another fight around in their favor.
Dignitas had the fight defended. Then they went back in. Again.
One after the other. You're too close if they can see you practically with Cloud9 right now. The inhibitor going down. The clock is pretty high on that death chamber, but it's only for Skara. He just recently went down, and everybody's coming back up.
What an unfortunate fight there for Dignitas, because it looked like when they were able to kill Balls so early on and just burst him down. Watch the burst they put. The DFG from Skara just into destroying him was amazing damage. At this point, once Cloud9 is out and Cruiser teleports in, just stop. The other team has Baron. It is a close 4v4, and there is a reset heavy champion on the other team. Cutie Pie gets caught because he chased too far. High jumps in and starts going crazy, and they lose the fight from there. It was a good thing for Dignitas that they themselves turn into a bad thing.
Baron buff doing a lot for Cloud9 in that fight, keeping them very strong. And here, Skara even thinking he's safe with the event horizon there. But Meteos, he finds his way around.
Meteos' Pantheon debut has been pretty impressive as well. We haven't talked that much about the great things Cloud9 has been doing in this game. 5-0 and 4 on Meteos. Him getting Balls going early, and then Balls carrying the game from top lane, combined with Sneaky and Lemon Nation, just playing solidly 2v2 are the main keys right now for Cloud9 and how they pulled so far ahead.
Also, that early invasion towards the blue, we saw that Sneaky and Lemon came out very hard in that bottom lane. Cutie Pie was down to 100 health almost immediately with exhaust on him. They have been in the face of Dignitas since the first minute of this game. 10,000 gold up now. They definitely know what they need. This bottom turret, with Baron being down, they have freedom to pretty much go wherever they want.
And their Baron buff is still up on him for a short while later. It's one of the hardest turrets to defend in League of Legends because they can get flanked from behind, and there's a very difficult retreat back to their base from here. You can see them just running away right now for the next minion wave.
So Dig giving up this turret. They know things are getting pretty bad here, and they got to get the fight that they want. They have to be able to dictate it and get that first engagement, or hope that they can get another attack like they did on Balls last time, that quick DFG kill.
That was a great kill. They can still do it. They will have that threat with the Void Staff on Scar. His damage is not going to decrease. His health will, though.
It is an interesting build. Look on him real quick. You get an idea of that. He's plus 97 stacks on that Q. So he is getting a good bit of ability power out of it.
If this game were to somehow go longer, if Cloud9 wasn't so aggressive, Scar would be absurd. If he could channel his death cap and get the bonus ability power on his stacking ability power as well, he would become a monster. I'm not going to have the time, I don't think.
Vager's one of those champions that just makes you turn your head sometimes, kill after kill, from the amount of burst he can put out. Cloud9, not too worried about it though. On the top side of the map, they got the double team of Meteos and Balls working down the turrets. Looks like they don't have much to push right now. They're all the way up to the base. They're going to go back and try again.
Yeah, they They are in a lot of control right now.
Yeah.
If they can catch Dignitas in the open, it is most likely they're going to crush them in a fight. And it's surprising because, you know, I worried a bit in the pregame about them not having enough crowd control to lock people down, but they've just initiated the right amount of fights and gotten the right targets down early on that it hasn't mattered. Plus, they've laned so strongly that they were able to get really far ahead, and it means that, you know, Dignitas just can't move in and around them because if they're ever close to them, they're just losing. And the sheer just being there for Cloud9 finds the right fights.
Scar and Cutie Pie going very fast here. 2 black cleavers sit on the board for Cloud9 on those 2 assassins of Pantheon and Kha'Zix. Meteos, no stranger to getting the kills this game. He has 5 high himself on Kha'Zix, has 6, and they have completely been working that combination, kind of like a dive buddy going in. We see him looking at Skara quite a bit, and he's gone into that Deathfire Grasp Void Staff, which is an odd build, but you can do it on Veigar. That's the way you got to kill people.
Absolutely.
30 minutes in, 20-7 here, looking quite grim for Dignitas, but anything is possible. Baron, 30 seconds.
Yeah, and this is actually a Baron Dignitas can't really contest. There are so many wards in their jungle, and there's pink ward control from Cloud9 that if they try and go win, they're just waiting to walk into a thresh hook and get the same story over and over again. At the same time, though, because it's 12,000 gold down, this is one of the only ways they think to get back into the game. It is a lose-lose situation at this point for Dignitas. Have to pull out a miraculous play if they want to get something here.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely trying to lose a little bit less. They're trying to make moves. Crumb's out in the front. He can safeguard back in, so they're not getting themselves in too dangerous of a situation. Talisman of Ascension for 1. Sneaky coming from the outside of this one. He's going to get dove on, though. That might have been the bad spot. He's still in the open. His Meteos is very low. What a chaotic fight here. Seeing Cruiser now go down to the bot. Scar is already down previously in the fight, and they're going to chase Dig back into their base. Crumbs isn't going to get too far, though. Lemon Nation's death sentences this game have been completely on point. Already inside the base, and greeting them as they come home is High. He gets a kill going over onto Kiwi Kid. The double kill coming in for High on the kills, and it looks like they're going to be able to take the base.
Yeah, 24 kills to 7. It was a strange-looking fight because Cloud9 flanked very well. They hopped all around. They finished him off. This looks like a win for Cloud9.
Cloud9 looking to make themselves 9-3 here on the spring split. They take down the first Nexus turret. Dignitas was looking to have a great game here. The Veigar pick didn't seem to work out. We'll see what happens coming up in our next games of the day. But this one going to Cloud9 at 31 minutes.
Cloud9 gets their revenge on Dignitas. They bounce back after their defeat yesterday from CLG. Still, tell this wasn't quite the week Cloud9 wanted to have. But they do come out strong with that victory. They kind of deal with the strange pick from Skara. They make their team comp work despite it not having that much crowd control. They find victory.
Yeah, actually the point I was just going to make is they played their team comp great. I wouldn't say perfectly because nobody ever does anything perfectly. Yep. But they had the 5-0, 6-0-8, I'm sorry, on Meteos. 5-0-7 coming in for Sneaky. He's only had 2 Caitlyn games before. He makes it 3-0 on that now. And that was the first Pantheon game coming in for Meteos, showing that his champion pool, it's not everything, well, we have not seen everything in it.
Yeah. And Meteos can play a lot of champions. He just chooses not to in most situations because he has a very clear hierarchy of what he likes. The team really knows what they want out of a jungler, and he'll just pick Elise if it's up every game because he feels like she can work in all the situations that Cloud9 wants. With that band, you know, with Lee Sin being taken away, he just went to the next rung on the totem pole, and it went to show that he has it pretty deep.
Right. Cloud9 finally getting back into that early game aggression. Towards the end of the game, we talked about how they really came into that victory. The bottom lane aggression of Lemon Nation, that first, obviously leveling the E on Thresh to get the extra damage, and Cutie Pie, like 3 minutes into the game, he was almost dead.
Yeah. It was, I would say Cutie Pie and Kiwi Kid dropped the ball for Dignitas. And Sneaky and Lemon Nation definitely had a fantastic early game. They knew they were going up against a Sivir. You know, they had struggled against Sivir so much against CLG.
Right.
They had the night to think over the matchup. They said, all right, Caitlyn this time. They'd actually banned Caitlyn against CLG, so they didn't have that option. It was a good pick.
It was an absolutely good pick. Remember to send us your favorite moments from this match to @LOL Esports and use the hashtag LCS Big Plays. All right, we've got to take a broadcaster cooldown. When we return, Cloud9's deadly bot lane duo, Sneaky and Lemon Nation, join us in the studio. Then Coast has a shot to tie it up against Evil Geniuses when both teams square off in our next game of the day. Stay tuned. is the first one in, and they make balls be the focus, so Meteos can get a good hit on the man drop. The teleport is in from the base. Here comes Cruiser. They're also stages. He misses the cleaver, though. Back in the fight in between 4 people. Looks like Dig has a good grab. What a hook coming in from Lemon Nation. High takes full advantage and comes in with a quick kill, zeroing out that. And it looks like it's going to be Crumbs going down as well. A double kill.
Good job, Fakey. Holy shit, dude. That game was intense.